Bonjour, Mary! So today, I'm gonna talk a lot of random crap. Mostly Harry Potter, but also mummies. The fact that we think it's okay to dig up people from hundreds of years ago and put them in a glass case so that everyone can gawk and stare at them is disgusting. Like, those were living, breathing people, and their wishes were not to be gawked and stared at. They wanted to be put in a hole in the ground, as they were, surrounded by, their slaves and their riches and whatever. So why do we think we have the right to dig them up and move them around the world? Like, I think that's horrible. Have you heard the theory about Dumbledore being death? I think it's a great one, and it's really exciting. But the way I always looked at it was a more symbolic thing, where Dumbledore was meant to represent death. But I've heard people discussing it as Dumbledore is literally death. And so then the question arises, does he really die? Can death die? Or is death immortal? Which is kind of contradictory to the idea of death. Like, that doesn't really make any sense. And that just makes it 10 times more confusing. So, are we talking Dumbledore is literally death, or is Dumbledore symbolically death? Why did Harry name his son after Snape? Was it because he admired Snape? That wouldn't make any sense, because he hated Snape for the first 7 years that he knew him. Why would the final 5 minutes of his life negate all that horrible treatment? Perhaps Harry wasn't naming Albus Severus after Snape's actions, but rather after his motivation, which was love. Love is eternal, even though we're only here for a short time. Lily's love lives on in Harry, because her love literally allows him to continue living. And Lily's memory lives on through Snape's love of her. Albus Severus is not a reminder of Snape and the things that Snape did, but rather it's a continuance of Snape's love. So Albus Severus is not a relic of the man that Snape was, but rather the love that could not even be tarnished by death. Who's ready for Fantastic Beasts and where to find them? I am, but I have to wait another 4 months. I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of fantastic magical creatures to learn about in this new film, but some of the ones I want to see in them, which they might not be all that great, so they might not actually be in them, but some of the things I want to see are, like, the golden snidget, which is, like, this little golden bird that is extremely valuable and extremely rare, and it's what the golden snitch in Quidditch was designed after, or for more information, see Quidditch Through the Ages. Another one is a Niffler, which are in a couple of the Harry Potter books. In the 5th one in particular, Hagrid actually brings them for his class to play with, and I think those would be fun to see. I also would love to see a dragon, because dragons are awesome, and a Wampus, because that's my Ilvermorny house, and a Lethifold, which is like this like black sheet that just smothers its victims until they're dead. They're really freaky. I don't know if any of those would really make for good theater, so they might not make it into the movie, but I think it'd be pretty cool to see them. So my question for you is, what creatures do you want to see in the movie this fall? Au revoir, sister.